Does it really matter if I invest in an IRA, or is a taxable account just as good? This is a topic I get asked often, and the topic of today's video. Both of these are popular investment vehicles, but they serve different purposes and come with their own sets of rules and benefits. Today we'll discuss the pros and cons, contribution limits, withdrawal rules, and tax implications of the different options. And stay tuned until the end, where I'll walk you through a hypothetical client scenario using my Right Capital financial planning software to compare the potential ending wealth for each investment option. First up, let's talk about brokerage accounts. Now, these accounts are like your gateway to the world of investing. They let you buy and sell a wide range of investments: stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, you name it. Basically, if it's traded in the market, you can probably invest in it through a brokerage account. The beauty of a brokerage account is its flexibility. There are no restrictions on how much you can contribute or when you can withdraw your money. But here's the downside: taxes. Any gains, interest, or dividends you earn within a brokerage account are taxable in the year they're received. That's right, Uncle Sam takes his cut every year even if you reinvest the dividends. There are different types of brokerage accounts, from self-directed online accounts where you make all the decisions, to robo-advisors that use algorithms to manage your investments. You can even work with a stockbroker or a financial advisor to handle things for you. However, thanks to today's technology and the wealth of information available online, even novice investors can start investing with ease, so there's no need to be intimidated. With a solid plan in place, you can achieve strong investment returns, even if you're just starting out. Alright, moving on to IRAs, or individual retirement accounts. IRAs are all about retirement savings. They offer significant tax advantages that can help your money grow more efficiently over time. But unlike brokerage accounts, IRAs have some rules and limitations you need to know about. There are two main types of IRAs: traditional and Roth IRAs. With a traditional IRA, your contributions are often tax deductible, and the money grows tax deferred. You only pay taxes when you withdraw it in retirement. I say often tax deductible because if you have a 401k or another workplace retirement plan, your ability to deduct traditional IRA contributions depends on your income. For 2024, the deduction begins to phase out for single filers with a modified adjusted gross income over $77,000 and is eliminated at $87,000. For married couples filing jointly, the phase-out range starts at $123,000 and ends at $143,000 if both spouses are covered by a workplace plan. If only one spouse is covered, the range starts at $230,000 and ends at $240,000. With a Roth IRA, contributions are made with after-tax dollars, meaning you don't get a tax deduction now, but won't pay any taxes on your withdrawals in retirement, assuming the Roth was open for 5 years. Unfortunately, everyone can't directly contribute to a Roth IRA. Roth contributions are subject to income limits. For 2024, if you're a single filer, your ability to contribute begins to phase out at $146,000 and becomes completely ineligible at $161,000. For married couples filing jointly, the phase-out range starts at $230,000 and ends at $240,000. If you're eligible to contribute, IRAs also have contribution limits. For 2024, you can only contribute up to $7,000 or $8,000 if you're 50 or older. And of course, IRAs are for retirement. If you withdraw money before age 59 and a half, you could face penalties and taxes. However, with a Roth IRA, one unique advantage is that you can withdraw your contributions at any time without facing penalties or taxes. But you still have to wait until age 59 and a half to withdraw the gains. Be sure to save IRS Form 5498 in your files. It details your Roth IRA contributions and can be crucial if you're ever audited and need to verify that your withdrawals were from contributions, not earnings. This flexibility makes a Roth IRA a great option for those who want access to their money while still benefiting from tax-free growth. With a brokerage account, there's no cap on how much you can put in. You can contribute as much or as little as you want. and if you need the money, you can pull it out whenever without worrying about penalties. Another huge difference is how they're taxed. Brokerage accounts are taxable every year based on the gains, dividends, or interest you earn. For brokerage accounts, any capital gains realized are subject to either short or long-term capital gains tax rates. Short-term capital gains apply to securities that are sold less than a year after they are purchased. Long-term capital gains are applied to securities that are held for more than a year before being sold. Short-term gains are taxed as ordinary income. However, long-term gains receive a more favorable tax treatment and are subject to either a 0%, 15%, or 20% tax rate, depending on how much income you have in the year the security was sold. IRAs, however, aren't taxed until you start taking withdrawals. This gives your money a chance to grow tax-deferred or even tax-free in the case of a Roth IRA. For long-term investors, this can make a big difference in how much you end up with at retirement. Remember, while brokerage accounts give you flexibility, they don't offer the same tax advantages as IRAs. Let's take a look at a case study using my Right Capital financial planning software to see how this impacts the long-term wealth of my hypothetical clients. Meet Stephen and Samantha Saver. Stephen is age 41 and Samantha is 43. We'll keep things simple and say they don't have a workplace retirement plan and they have $50,000 in a bank account and $200,000 in a brokerage account, and they decided to rent their home instead of buy. Their goal is to retire at age 67 and spend $6,000 per month plus healthcare, plus annual travel at $15,000 per year. They both make $100,000. They've been saving everything in their taxable brokerage account, and now they're wondering if they should be saving in an IRA instead. This plan assumes that everything over their current budget will be saved and invested in their brokerage account for illustration purposes only. So in the current plan, they have a success rate of 72% with a median ending account value of $5.5 million. But if they were to incorporate traditional IRAs into their savings strategy by both maxing them out each year, they would reduce their taxable income, which would allow for more taxable savings also. Their success rate is similar at around 75%, but their median ending wealth increases by about $1.6 million. Keep in mind that this isn't changing anything with their monthly spending, they just changed the account type, taking advantage of tax deductions and tax-deferred growth. So, which account should you use? As always, it depends on your goals. If you're saving for retirement, a traditional or Roth IRA is often the better choice because of the tax benefits. But if you're investing for a shorter or intermediate term goal, like buying a house, a brokerage account might make more sense due to its flexibility. And of course, it doesn't have to be an either-or decision. Both IRAs and brokerage accounts have their place in a well-rounded financial strategy. The key is to understand their differences and choose the one that aligns with your financial goals. If you're not sure which one to pick or how much to invest in each, visit thehourlyadvisor.com to schedule a free consultation. Let us simplify your financial situation and help you achieve your goals.